Network Sportscast Edition, episode 155, the Christmas Eve edition. My name's Craig. That's Brian. Brian, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Craig. Can't
Trying to
complain.
stay warm in this polar vortex we have rolling through Texas that we
Yeah.
try to avoid.
Oh, yeah. My
Uh,
bathroom's still frozen. Like, no
that's
water coming out of there. Yeah.
that's no good. This morning we have a Christmas Eve special for you to preview Week 16 in the NFL. We have a full slate of games on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. And we also have a slew of breaking news stories right after this. All right, welcome back. Episode 175, the Christmas Eve edition. We'd like to start out by wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. I hope everybody has a wonderful couple days off and enjoys time with their family and friends and everything that this time of year brings. We have a basic full slate of games today on Saturday and only 3 on Sunday. So that is a little bit different than what you normally see in the NFL, where you only have a couple games on Saturday and Sunday is the mainstay. And they begin here in about an hour, I believe.
Yeah, it's surprising to me. I figured it'd be the other way around.
I exactly thought it was going to be the other way around. We were looking at that, and I was like, wow, there's like 10 or 12 games on Saturday. All right, I guess we will start with the matchup of the week and the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Started off hot, are we?
We're just going to go straight into the fire here. We make our picks of the week, and Thursday we both picked Jacksonville, which that obviously turned out to be a good pick. We will talk more about that dumpster fire in New York in a little while when we get to the breaking news. So Cowboys, Eagles, Brian, who do you got?
Well, I went ahead. We weren't going to be able to podcast last night, or I wasn't. We weren't all able to podcast last night, so I did a solo shot episode of just this game because this game is game of the week. I'm surprised it's not the 7:25 tonight or even the late game on Christmas. But I got the Eagles. And I got the Eagles because they do a lot of stuff that the Cowboys aren't good at stopping. I think even with Gardner Minshew, he's that type of guy that can give you a game or two. I call it the Ryan Fitzpatrick type of game where he can come out and either throw 4 interceptions or he can come out and throw 4 touchdowns. So you never know what you're going to get. I think the defense of this team is really, really good. And I just think they're still going to be able to run the ball. Dallas has a problem stopping the run. And I just think it's going to work against them. And Philly's going to control the clock and win this game. It's going to be a close game. I think they win by 3.
I don't know. There is a lot of things that the Eagles do. The back end of the Cowboys defense is torn up. And while I wasn't an Anthony Brown supporter, I guess maybe he was playing better than what Calvin Joseph is playing. Again, Calvin Joseph can't cover his eyes from a scary movie. So that scares me with the Brown and Smith combo in the wide receiver deal. I think they're going to have some shots down the field, and you hope Bland can cover one of those guys, and you hope that Diggs, who's been recovering from the flu, can cover one of them like he has been and lock that one side of the field down. You hope that Diggs travels with Brown and tries to keep him from going absolute earth. And then, of course, the running game, which Dallas has never been able to stop. That running back in Philadelphia has had a his first 1,000-yard season. But I just think that after a loss, especially the way they lost and the division game and being at home, and these teams normally don't sweep each other, that Dallas does enough to win because of now you don't have to worry about the running of Jalen Hurts. You could focus more on the running back. Gardner Minshew is not going to take off and run down the field. So that is have to have that spy guy that's dedicated to Smith. Leighton Vander Esch being out is scary to me. He's the leading tackler on the team. He's had a very good season, and that neck stinger is going to hold him out. But I just think being at home and the division and the rivalry and everything like that, I just think Dallas going to take Dallas in that.
Yeah, and going into this game, I wish Jalen Hurts was available. I want to see them.
Yeah, no, you want to see the playoff preview. You want to see if Dallas can beat them when they're at their best. But I mean, you got to play who's in front of you. So,
and I was back and forth on it. I don't think clear cut favorite. But to me, it's not. To me, the matchup is not the offense of Philly versus the defense. This is a matchup between Dak and the Philadelphia Eagles defense. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Well, and Dallas didn't have Dak the first time, and they only lose by a little bit. Cooper Rush throws the key interception down as they're trying to drive. But this defense against this Philadelphia team last time they played, they had a chance to stop and get back in the game, and they went all the way down the field like they weren't even out there. They just ran the ball 100 times and ran it down the field. They did not. Smith and Brown didn't have a huge game the first time this team played. They ran the ball between Hurts and the running back. They gashed the Dallas defense on the ground, and so that has to stop, or else you're going to lose this game because Philadelphia will control time of possession. You won't get that many shots. T.Y. Hilton does play today. I'm very interested to see how much and what they do with that. I don't like what Kellen Moore has been doing with the grouping, the three wide receivers on one side, the triangle formation over there. Everybody's all grouped up. Spread the field out and get these guys separated. Noah Brown has had a good season, but the key he seems to drop the key deals. Michael Gallup has been non-existent the last couple of weeks. It's been an absolute no-show. And I don't know if
that's a mental game.
I don't know. I don't know if that's still. I'm worried about my knee and can't get open or what. But he has been non-existent, and basically it is the CeeDee Lamb show over there. And if you can stop CeeDee Lamb, then you can stop the Dallas Cowboys offense, and that is the problem. So hopefully T.Y. Hilton can give him somebody else to throw a football to.
I see, and that's why you're missing Amari Cooper.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why you wanted OBJ or something to that effect, is to give you somebody else to throw a football to.
And he could be there. I just think next season would be more better for them if they do get OBJ when he's fully healthy. But I just don't think T.Y. Hilton's not going to scare anybody at 31 years old. But he's going to be that possession type of wide receiver. I'm interested to see how he does.
Move the sticks, and he will be in the spot where he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
unlike some of these other guys, you don't have to worry about rounding routes off or quitting on routes. Like I was saying on Tuesday when I watched the All 22 film, these guys are not getting to the routes. They're rounding them off. CeeDee Lamb just stopped on a route. He just quit. The ball went over his head, like he just stopped running. And Noah Brown, little alligator arms across the middle because he gets scared of getting hit. T.Y. Hilton will not do that. T.Y. Hilton will fight for the football. He will be where he's supposed to be. He is closer to the Amari Cooper route running that he's used to. So hopefully that helps Dak out. We'll see.
All right. It's definitely the game I'm definitely tuning into. But
yeah,
go ahead.
All right, so we got Buffalo and Chicago. I don't think that's a game that we should even worry about. Buffalo will run that. Saints and the Browns. Don't you wish you had a ticket?
Yeah. To see
Saints are
no
trying to stay
quarterback
alive in their division, in that high flying NFC South division right there, that the winner is going to be under 500 probably. I will take Jesus. Give me Andy Dalton, I guess. I don't give me the red rifle.
Yeah. I got the Saints as well, and I got the Saints because Deshaun is so rusty, and this defense, the Saints, is a good defense.
Yeah, he's
I
out there
think they're
just
gonna give 'em
throwing
problems.
ground balls and batting practice. The Texans and the Titans.
Oh, and you got
and Fitzpatrick is gone for the year. He had surgery on his foot. So it's going to be the Malik Willis or whatever his name is show the rest of the season. Probably it's probably going to cost Tennessee a playoff spot.
they could. I think Jacksonville wins that division now.
They will if they win out. They're the 4th seed if they win out. And the schedule the rest of the way gives Jacksonville the exact possibility to do that. They have 2 very winnable games when I look. So I will take the Texans because they have looked very good the last 2 weeks against 2 really good football teams. They take Dallas to the last possession, and they take Kansas City to overtime. So I'm going to take the Texans to win that football game.
I laugh because I choose the Texans as well.
Yeah.
I didn't think there'd be a week this year that we both took the Texans.
No.
But here we are.
Seahawks and Chiefs. The Seahawks are starting to look, after starting very, very well, they are starting to look more like the Seahawks that we thought they would be.
Geno Smith
start the year.
Looking like Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is starting to look like Geno Smith. He's like, damn it, I should have signed that contract earlier in the year when I was hot. My Brinks truck got a flat tire. So he was trying to get an extension in Seattle, and I don't know if that's going to happen now. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes with his eyes closed. Yeah. Giants, Vikings. The Giants need a win to try to even remotely stay in the playoff. If you're a Lions fan, you are the biggest Vikings fan in the world now that they won the division after a 9 million point comeback last week and stole your hopes of winning the division. I think the Vikings roll here, even though, I mean, it's at noon, so you don't have to worry about Kirk Cousins peeing down his leg. So I'm going to take the Vikings in that game.
Same here, buddy.
Bengals, Patriots. Old Snack Jones over here.
Screaming at people like he's got rings or something.
Yeah, trying to think he's Tom Brady, screaming at the offensive line.
Tom freaking Brady.
After losing in the most unimaginable way, fashionable, tossing the ball around like the Stanford band game. Mac Jones getting stiff-armed to, the bottom side of the world. He's still laying there, I believe.
Say hi to China for me, will you?
Yeah. He's still picking turf out of his helmet from where Chandler Jones face planted him in the turf. Joe Burrow is on fire right now. He is making a statement or a last-ditch effort for MVP. With Jalen Hurts being hurt, Joe Cool over here is making a run at MVP. Yeah, this is the team that we thought they would be to start the year, and they took a couple weeks to get that offensive line that didn't look like a turnstile. And Jamar Chase and I think them go bonkers today.
Yeah,
Lions, Bengals. Panthers. The Detroit Lions are a team you don't want to see right now, and Carolina.
I hope they make playoffs. I'm rooting for them.
I think they do. I think they absolutely do, because Giants have to play Philadelphia and Washington has to play Dallas, and those games matter. So they're not going to be like games that we're just going to lay people out and deal. So I firmly believe that the Lions win today, and their schedule, like I said, the Jets was the toughest game they have left. They have a game left against Green Bay, but Green Bay has really nothing left to play for. at that point you might
Hey, we
see.
still got a chance. All right.
Oh,
There's a slim chance.
3.1475 pi squared chance of making the playoffs
Yep.
will end today. We'll get to that in a minute. Well, I'm sorry, tomorrow. I'm going to take the Lions in that football game.
Yep. Give me the
Falcons,
Lions too.
Ravens with Hundley as the quarterback. I read this morning that, listen to this, you'll love this. Talk about why the Pro Bowl is non-existent. Hundley was added to the Pro Bowl as a fourth alternate in the quarterback position, and he's played 3 football games this year and hasn't looked good in any of them. But we're going to go to the Pro Bowl.
How? What?
You did what?
Oh,
You've played 3 football games and haven't scored a bucket full of points. Get out of here with that.
That's garbage.
That's trash.
Absolute trash.
I am taking the Falcons because they are trying to win that division, and they just might.
Give me the Falcons too. That's tough because they're in Baltimore with the defense.
The only thing that's going to save them is J.K. Dobbins going ham banana and running for about 250 yards, which I will gladly lose this pick and take that because he's Craig's fantasy football running back. Give me all the points.
Give me Baltimore.
All right, I will take that. All right, Commanders and 49ers. The 49ers try to roll with Mr. Irrelevant still. I saw a stat the other day that is very interesting. Shanahan is 9-28 with quarterbacks not named Jimmy Garoppolo. And
Wow.
Purdy has been 2-0. So that means Trey Lance is 9-1,000 or 7-1,000 in his career. So we look at next year and go, hey, are we really going to go with Trey Lance and get rid of Garoppolo and Purdy? Because I don't know. But
I don't know why Jimmy Garoppolo's not this guy here long term. I don't understand it.
I don't understand.
I don't.
He's done nothing but win. When we previewed the statement, I told you if Garoppolo is the quarterback, they will win the division. And they were on a crash course to look terrible. Could you imagine what that division looked like if Trey Lance doesn't break his ankle?
Oh,
that division looks like the South.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
You got the Rams, you got all these teams that are terrible, and the 49ers would be right there with them if Trey Lance was the quarterback.
Yep.
Jimmy, that broken ankle was the best thing that could have happened to the 49ers.
Dang.
Yeah. It's the best thing.
When you look at Jimmy G's record with Shanahan, and you go, hey, we've won like 50 billion games and we've only lost 10. How is this not going? Okay, I can win games with this guy.
If I'm the GM, I'm going, I can't justify getting another quarterback.
I'd say you work with Jimmy or
I'll find somebody who will.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And all that they gave up for Trey Lance, and it doesn't look like he's better than Jordan Love in Green Bay, then I don't.
Yeah. Trey Lance is our guy. What are we doing?
After
Brock Purdy wins a Super Bowl, the world's going to shut down. Mr. Irrelevant wins a Super Bowl, the world's going to. the NFL will be on its ear. The last pick of the draft, I'm picking the 49ers all day long.
I do too. I just think the Commanders make it tough because the Commanders are still fighting for something. Look, the 49ers they've already locked up the division. They don't really need to do much. Are they going to start sitting guys because?
Probably next week.
Injury?
Well, yeah, probably. But you don't have a quarterback to sit. There's nobody else. You got a practice squad guy. You might sit McCaffrey. That would be, a
rest
thing.
Him up
please do that because the guy that's playing me in fantasy football playoff has got McCaffrey. Yeah, go ahead and sit him down.
I'll do the 49ers as well. We already did the Cowboys, Eagles.
Raiders and Steelers are all that's left for today.
Terrible.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders because I don't know why. I guess because I picked them to start the season.
I have said I'll never take the Raiders again.
Fair point.
But give me the Raiders.
Yeah.
Give me the Raiders. I don't trust Trubisky. Devontae Adams is having a heck of a season, even though that the team really hasn't been. Well, they're both 6-8. It's a divisional game. Not a divisional
game. It's not
a
divisional game.
Not my bad. It's a
AFC
kind of a
game.
rival.
Yeah,
it's kind of a rivalry game
in Pittsburgh.
More of a back in the day rivalry than lately.
I don't trust their quarterback in Pittsburgh. That guy hasn't been.
Yeah, I don't do it. I don't trust it either. Give me the Raiders as well.
We are going to go to Sunday now, and the Dolphins and the Packers.
Oh, gosh. I'll let you go first. I already know your answer.
Do you?
We're in Tua. Miami.
Team Tua. Yeah.
We're in Miami on the road.
Tua is my fantasy quarterback, and we're going to ride him like Seabiscuit all the way to the championship. Let's go Tua. I need Tua, and I need Waddle to go for about 8 million yards and 5 touchdowns.
And now I'm excited because this game I'll actually be able to watch. Because my wife, she had the audacity yesterday.
Let's go shopping or
no,
watch some Christmas movies on Hallmark.
No,
on Sunday.
It's not even that. She had the audacity to say, "Man, you haven't really watched any Green Bay games this year." I said, "Yeah, babe. But when we suck, they don't put us on TV."
Remember that whole Sunday ticket thing I wanted, and you told me no?
Yeah, we don't live in Green Bay, so this one will be on TV. I'll be able to watch it. And give me Green Bay, baby. I'm going with the Packers, and you might call it a Homer's pick.
Oh,
we still got something to play for.
That is
all
Captain
right?
Homer.
And we've been getting healthier. We got Dobbs back. We got Watson playing good. Oh well, hold on here. Hold on.
Hold on. I can't even talk myself into it.
Oh no, it's the bucket. Like Brett or Aaron Rodgers has never won against Tampa in Tampa. I don't think he does. Or the Jacksonville or something. I don't think he does good at Miami.
It's humid. He doesn't like it.
I want to be different because we only have one pick that's different. But give me Miami, damn it. I thought I was going to be hot take guy here, but give me.
I was hoping you were. Should have left it locked in.
If they win tomorrow, I'll be pissed.
All right. Here's a game you want as a ticket. Rams Broncos, the backup quarterback bowl, baby.
Terrible.
Baker Mayfield rolling in against. I don't know if Russ is playing or not. I don't think he is. Even if he is, they're terrible with Russ. Captain Concussion over here has won 2 games and can't get out of his own way. I'm gonna take Baker.
I'm gonna go Denver.
But
I'm gonna go Denver. They're good defense. They looked good last week, surprisingly. It's the first time they looked good all year, and they didn't have Russell Wilson playing. That tells you something. It's just gonna be about all the defenses, and give me the Broncos on that one. I'm probably gonna regret that at the end of the day, but I'll take
Buccaneers, Cardinals. I believe that he's still out because of the concussion. So I believe the Cardinals will be on a 3rd-string quarterback. And even though I want Tampa to lose all their football games and not make the playoffs, and Tom Brady not make the playoffs in a year that he was not injured, I can't go against Tampa Bay. That defense is too good, and they got something to play for, and they're going to win.
Yeah, it's an easy pick, Tampa.
And then the Colts, who can't beat anybody, apparently, even with a 4,000-point lead against the Chargers, who are still fighting to get in the playoffs. Give me the LA Chargers in that matchup.
I got the same one. So it comes down to 2 games with us this week.
So that is your Week 16 2-day preview. And now we will go into a slew of different news of the week stories right after this. All right. Headlines of the week. In the first one, a move in baseball that I have never quite seen happen, and it happens with the baseball team that I follow. The San Francisco Giants in this offseason have had Aaron Judge for about 6 minutes and Carlos Correa for 6 days. They were just about to announce the 13-year, $350 million contract on Tuesday. They had a news conference scheduled. They had Correa's family up in the hotel in San Francisco. Everyone was ready and able to make this official. All of a sudden, the Giants do the physical, and they find an injury that Carlos Correa had back in the minor leagues. He has a broken tibia that he had in the minor leagues that he had surgery on, and it has not come up. It has not been a problem anytime he played in Houston. It wasn't a problem in Minnesota when he played last year. And all of a sudden the Giants say, no, I don't think we want to do this. We'll do it, but we want to do it for a different length of term and a different amount of money. And in the middle of the night, Scott Boras goes back to the New York Mets and says, hey, the Giants are hemming and hawing and coming up with a problem on a physical, and we would like to re-engage our contract talks. That contract you offered us a couple days ago, is that still available? And the New York Mets are like, it's absolutely available. Here's 12 years, $315 million. And they sign in the middle of the night. You wake up and you go, I had Carlos Correa, now he's gone. As a Giants fan, I wasn't huge on the Correa signing to begin with, because you come in and you take the spot of the team, basically the guy that the face of the franchise in Brandon Crawford. He's had ton of Gold Gloves. Yes, offensively, he has not produced he had 2 years ago, he had his best season yet. They signed him to a 2-year extension. And the problem I have is, from what I'm reading, they didn't come to him and talk to him before they did this. They did this and then called him and said, hey, Brandon, you're going to have to change positions. And he's like, I've played shortstop my whole life. Where am I going to go? They're like, we don't know yet, but we're going to sign Carlos. And being the class act that Crawford is, he's like, okay, I guess, and was willing to move positions. Carlos Correa is a career 280 hitter, has never hit more than 27 home runs in a season. San Francisco's not exactly a hitter-friendly park, so he probably wasn't going to come in here and light the world on fire. He's got a .986 on-base percentage. Okay, that's solid. But to me, this move was never worth $350 million. And it wasn't worth 13 years, wasn't worth $350 million. And to me, the Giants probably dodged a bullet, but they look horrible. They go back and sign Conforto for a 2-year, $36 million deal. They basically have money to just spend and deal. They're just throwing money at people at this point in time. Have you ever seen anything like this, Brian?
I have not. That, first of all, still in the middle of the night, they say a lot of owners are kind of upset about this.
Oh, yeah. The New York Mets have $806 million just this offseason. They're just throwing money at people.
Now, I can't be mad at the Mets for trying to win. And if the Mets...
If you're willing to pay the luxury tax.
Yeah, with Major League Baseball, if your owner is willing to pay the luxury tax because there's not really any cap, then so be it, right? And I'm not going to get mad at the Mets. It's interesting because you're like, oh, we got Correa, this big, huge deal. And then next thing you know, I saw your post about we had him for 10 minutes. And I was like, what? Where did he go? You said it was a broken bone?
He broke his leg in 2014 in a slide in a minor league game, and he had to have surgery. And yeah, okay, that's an injury that you would kind of flag. But I look at it and go, he's played 8 years in the major leagues and never missed a game because of that. He's missed some games because of here and there and whatever, but never missed a game because of this leg acting up. So
I don't get it either. But I'm not too heartbroken if you're the Giants, like you said. This guy, first of all, I don't really like him for being a cheater of the Astros.
Yes.
Second, he's not all that great at hitting. Like you said, he has never hit over 27 home runs. He's better than average, but he's nothing all that special to me.
Yeah.
So I
13 for 350. And here's the thing. Here's what bothers me most is he was going to come in here and make Brandon Crawford move, but now he goes to the Mets and he goes, "Oh, you got that guy that plays short. I'll go over here to third base and I'll play third base." Oh, whoa, Carlos. So we have Brandon Crawford, who's Gold Glove shortstop deal. We currently don't have a third baseman because Evan Longoria has not signed a contract. And you were going to come in here and make my guy move to a different position, but you're going to go over there and they got the guy from the Indians already locked down at short. So now you'll move to third. And to me, he didn't want to be here. He just took the money.
Yeah.
And that to me is a bad deal.
And you got to hope that y'all didn't put a bad taste in Crawford's mouth by asking him.
I 100% believe he did.
And that's that could be, for a baseball player, that could be disrespectful.
It is disrespectful. And like I said, especially when he goes to the Mets and moves over to third base. Yeah. And that was never an option in San Francisco. They didn't say, well, we haven't decided where he's going to play yet. We're going to get with Brandon and we're going to see what works out and see who wants to move where. One will play third, one will play short. That's what we're going to do right now. They didn't say that. They just automatically said, he's our shortstop. He's going to be our shortstop for the next 13 years. Brandon, you can either retire or you could go.
And it seemed, and that makes it seem more of a desperate move on the Giants than, you know what I mean? Like, hey, come here. You're a shortstop. We already have a shortstop. Screw that guy.
Yeah.
And the Mets were like, hey, come on over here. We'll figure it out. And he's like, I'll move over there.
I'll move and I'll go to third.
I think the Giants, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to swing and get whoever they can because they don't want to have another losing season.
Yeah.
They don't want to have another disappointing season. But
and in that division where the Dodgers have spent a ton of money, the Padres have gone and spent a ton of money, it makes no sense.
And the Dodgers have lost. They haven't gotten better over the offseason. They've lost some players, and it's like,
yeah, and appears they might lose another one here shortly. So yeah, that to me in the middle of the night, it just wasn't a great move. It's not a great look. It appears they didn't fracture the relationship with Scott Boras because Michael Conforto is a Scott Boras client and they signed him. So it appears that they didn't completely screw that up. Yeah, Conforto's been injured. He's coming back. It's
exactly what the Rangers get. They go out and they get the guys. Hey, you had Tommy John surgery?
He's a reclaim
You're our ace. Let's go.
He's a reclamation project from what I'm, seeing. Yeah. So I'm not real thrilled on anything they've done. Now, if they go get an arm, there's one more arm out there. I don't understand. Adam Duvall is still out there, and he played for the Braves, and the Giants drafted him, and that kid is a stud. And I just don't understand why you wouldn't bring him back. You drafted him. You liked him in the thing. But now that the Conforto deal is done, they're not going to go get Duvall because they don't have enough spots. They've got Jock Peterson. They've got Yastrzemski. Now they got Conforto. They don't need another outfielder. So it's what it is. Okay, we can go move on to the Chris Beard story. Texas basketball head coach, just to revisit this or
update you on it.
Updated on it. He gets arrested for domestic violence where he strangulation of a family member is what the original charge was. Nobody knew who the family member was. You hoped it wasn't a child at that point in time when you heard the case. Texas suspends him without pay. until they can figure out what's going on. Well, in a statement on Friday, his fiance comes out and goes, hey guys, he didn't strangle me. Did I say strangle? That's a strong word. I mean, maybe he just helped me out of where I was at by my neck area. I didn't pass out or lose breath. He
caressed my neck with his hand.
Yeah, it's fine. No, he did not. When Texas said you're suspended without pay, we saw dollar bills flying out the window, and we like our lifestyle. So she said, I never said strangle, and I never wanted to file charges or wanted him indicted or arrested. He's back home. Everything's fine. We're a happy family. And it looks like probably he will be reinstated in Texas and continue his coaching career in Texas, and this will be a blip on the radar. But my problem with this is we all know what happened. They got in a fight, and it got physical, and he strangles her, and she says, you're going to jail. Ha, ha, ha. And then and then all of a sudden the fallout from it comes, and they realize the gravy train with biscuit wheels is about to come unraveled, and she changes the story. And to me, that is not something you should do. If this really happened the way they said it happened, then he needs to face the music, and he needs to deal.
Unfortunately, and we see this time and time again in sports.
All the time.
If you're a good coach and you're good at what you do and you're good at, or a good player and you're good at winning, a lot of times teams will sweep this under the rug.
Yeah.
They'll give him a slap on the wrist.
Ray Rice would have gotten away with it had there not been a video of him knocking his wife to where she slumps over like a deal in the elevator
I've ever seen.
But, and I mean,
yeah. Well, I would respect Texas more for them saying, "Hey, we're moving on."
No, period. I still think it happened, and we're moving on.
Hey, Coach, I know you've given us the best start to men's basketball, but that's not what matters here. What matters is you put your hands on your wife.
Yep.
And
we know you
let
did.
You go.
Yeah.
And we'll go. We'll survive. And I would respect them.
Absolutely.
But to put this guy back in here, leading your players, leading men, these young adults to become men. How do you walk back in that locker room and talk about accountability and talk about this and that when they're going, Coach, you strangled your fiance? What in the hell's wrong with you?
And how do we go into these parents' living rooms and say, I've got your kid, I'm going to show him the ways of the world and teach him things, and I don't want my kid being taught that. I don't want my kid being taught that you can strangle somebody, and as long as you tell her that hey, stop, we're going to lose our money. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. Did I say that strangled? No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's just outrageous, and I didn't know it was his fiance until this morning when I saw the report on Twitter, and I was like, "What? That's terrible." I figured it was maybe that cousin that no one really liked,
right. Cousin, over the last chicken leg at Thanksgiving,
not his fiance.
So, last night we had some breaking news that this story has been around forever and is just.
I thought it was gone. I thought it was swept under the rug.
Gone too. I guess he didn't. Apparently, he didn't put enough zeros in the check that he wrote. A federal judge has subpoenaed that Jerry Jones, the general manager and owner of the Dallas Cowboys, take a paternity test in the case of the 26-year-old female who is claiming that Jones had an estranged relationship with her mother and he is her father. I mean, even if this comes out that it is, okay, so we're still going to be the owner and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys will just write a check for millions of dollars and back child support, and everybody will have their day. This girl better hope it's right, because her life is over as she knows it if she's wrong. If he takes the paternity test and it comes out negative, she's going to have egg on her face. So now is the time that the mom better say, I was just kidding. I didn't have a relationship with Jerry Jones. The timing of it. You're trying to go to the playoffs and you're trying to win football games, and you're in the news for all the wrong reasons. And look, I've never been a Jerry Jones fan, but to me, this is just. I mean, if it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. It really doesn't affect. It shouldn't affect the team. It shouldn't affect him as an owner. They're not going to remove him as an owner if he had an estranged kid.
Well, and what's weird is even if she is, doesn't mean he owes you money.
Well, it does from child support standpoint.
From that, I get that point. But I'm talking about the $1 billion franchise.
No, yeah, you don't get a part of the Dallas Cowboys.
You got to put her in the wheel. Like I don't. It is what it is. Now, to me, you would have to almost be 100% sure before you make this claim.
Yeah, absolutely.
The press and
the fallout from if you're wrong will be astronomical.
Yeah. So, I just think I don't know. I thought this was done. I thought this was over with.
So did I. I saw that last night, and I was like, "What? This has been over for months." I mean, it went away. I thought.
She's gonna be invited to the Thanksgiving dinner next year, and
yeah, sure.
I don't know, but
okay. You said you had one.
Well, I got two different things. I got I didn't know if you saw Sean Payton is sources are saying he's looking to build up to come back and be a head coach. And he's eyeing Vic Fangio to be the DC upon return, which I think is fantastic. Vic Fangio is a great defensive coordinator. It didn't work out for him as a head coach. But where is he going? What team? We want to look back at the teams of this season who need a head coach next year. Where was he planning on going? The rumors were that Tom Brady in Miami was going to go to Miami and Sean Payton was going to go there, but they don't need a new head coach because their head coach that they got is fantastic. What team do you think? What team do we think? Because it's interesting. It's an interesting topic. I think whoever gets these two will be great. I mean,
the Todd Bowles experiment in Tampa hasn't exactly gone real well.
If he goes to Tampa, Tom's getting washed, but Vic Fangio could turn that defense around. And they've got the talent.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Tom, if they get an offensive line, if they build an offensive line, I think Brady's fine. We just, like we said, he doesn't like being hit in the mouth, and so he's had a bad year.
Because I don't think Sean Payton's coming back unless it's a team with a quarterback.
The original thing was the Dallas Cowboys, but you can't fire the guy who's won every year, and for the first time in a decade, you've made playoffs back-to-back years. He's done nothing but win. When the only years he didn't win was when he didn't have Dak Prescott.
My first thought
this year he won even though he didn't have Dak Prescott.
My first thought was the Broncos, but are they going to take Vic Fangio back as defensive coordinator? Is he going to walk back in there after being the head coach? Because they got Russell Wilson, they need a new head coach. Sean Payton could come in, Vic Fangio could come in a familiar place with a good defense and maybe turn that franchise around. Maybe get Russell back.
Was another one, but they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback. So it's just interesting what teams are set up that are really good, that's willing to get rid of their head coach. Tampa or Denver, in my opinion, are the only two places that I think. And Tom Brady would stick around for
Payton.
Sean Payton and Vic Fangio.
Because they were supposed to go to Miami and team up together, and they got that franchise into a slew of trouble and lost a bunch of draft picks and everything, and now they're not even there.
Yep. And my other thing I got is I wanted to go through the NBA slate of Christmas games because this is supposed to be their time of year where they put out their best matchups. You got Lakers and Mavericks at 1:30 on December 25th. Of course, Mr. Street Clothes will be in street clothes as he's injured. Mavericks have looked terrible this season. Luka put up 50 points last night. Just an absolute beast. We got 76ers Knicks. A lot of mediocre basketball this year. I mean, the 76ers are 19-12. Or Knicks are 18-5. Who the Knicks did get their second round pick taken away for Jalen Brunson tampering
with Brunson, which sure.
The game of the week here or day is the Bucks and Celtics at 4 p.m. That should be a pretty good game.
Celtics have hit a little bit of a skid after starting like a house of fire. They've come back to the pack a little bit.
They're 23-10, and the Bucks are 22-10.
Yeah.
Celtics are 12-5 at home, fantastic, and the Bucks are only 8-7 on the road. So you got Grizzlies Warriors at 7. The Grizzlies are 20-11. They're looking real good this season, and the Warriors, if the playoffs started today, would not be in it. So,
they have had a tough start. It started in the off season with the fight between Poole and Draymond, and that team just has not looked like the team that won the NBA title last year.
How do you go from winning the title to not
making the playoffs? I don't know. Ask the Los Angeles Lakers. It's going to be solid. The NBA is not real happy that they got 3 NFL games on when they're trying to take Christmas Day as their thing. It's been their thing for years, and you got 3 NFL games on. They're real happy with that.
You got Suns and Nuggets later that night at 9:30. So those are your Christmas Day games for the NBA. If you guys out there watch the NBA, there you go. Me and Craig both watched the Stars last night as they came back they were down 2-0, and they came back and won that 4-2. So it was a good game to watch.
All right, and we got one more in the Trevor Bauer fiasco.
Let's go Rangers.
For all of the time, this has really been a he said, she said case against him the whole time. He's had multiple cases where women have alleged that he has done things behind closed doors that they didn't want to do, even though he's had text messages and voicemails and different things saying that it was all consensual. If you look at some of the things, we're not going to go into detail of what some of the things it is. Go look it up for yourself. But it appears that maybe it was consensual to a point and he maybe went too far. But anyway, the original suspension was 360-something games. And they took it to an arbitrator, and it was reduced to 194, which is basically time served, and he has immediately been reinstated. From what I've read, he will never play another game in a Los Angeles Dodgers uniform. That franchise is over it. That locker room's over it. They said he was a horrible teammate. I've never seen when this originally happened, the things that were posted on Twitter of teammates and how fast they unfollowed him and how fast they said things about him was mind blowing to me. I've never seen a teammate.
They had that bus already started.
Oh, it was over. It was half over top of him when they broke the news. It was ridiculous. So, so he becomes a free agent. The Giants were in on him to begin with. It was basically the Giants and the Dodgers. He likes that part of the deal, the Southern Cowboy. I don't know if they need him because they've already gotten a couple guys. They've got Mania. They've got Ross Stripling. They've got Scalafani from last year coming back from an injury. So they really don't know if they need him. But, boy, that would be a hell of a sign. Texas likes spending money, apparently. And I don't know. I really don't know what it's going to take to deal because the Dodgers have to pay him. They still owe him $29 million in guaranteed money. So to me, you could sign him to a smaller deal and he still gets the $29 million. Yeah, you could. To see if he still has it, because like Deshaun Watson, since you haven't been on a mound in 2 years, What do you have? And Trevor Bauer has always been year-to-year guy. He never signed long-term deals. He signed one-year deals to make more money when he was in Cleveland. He does his own negotiating. He doesn't have an agent. He doesn't have a deal. He bets on himself every year. That's Ben Bauer's MO. So it'll be very interesting to see. He's a hell of a pitcher. He's a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He's a weird individual, but on the mound, he statistic-wise, he's dominated. I mean, he's a Cy Young candidate. He's won a Cy Young. Keep the drones away from him and don't let him play with drones. But other than that,
I'll take him in Texas.
I'd take him in San Francisco in a cocaine heartbeat.
And he might pick San Francisco just because they play the Dodgers more. Hey, I'm going to show.
Boy, that would be to stick it up. LA's deal, 20 times a year. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have not heard anything on negotiations. And really, to be honest with you, I thought by now that the Dodgers would have already released him. I have not read that. I have not heard that they've officially released him. So
not yet. It's not official yet, but they're everyone's saying they're planning to, because there's no way he's playing for this franchise.
I wouldn't think
the
so.
way they threw him out. They threw him under the bus.
If I'm Bauer, I want out of it. I want them to release, because I don't want to go back to a franchise that talked about me the way this one did the second this happened. Especially this, he has very much been. I've never been a huge Bauer, like the way he's behaved and everything like that. He's a weird cat, but he sure has. If you look at how he's handled this, he has stuck to his guns that he is innocent, and this has all been completely consensual. And this is a man that he hasn't wavered one bit. Normally, when you get these cases, you start out with a house of fire and go, I didn't do this, and then the truth comes out and they go, all right, well, I mean, I guess I see your way. You could have done things differently. Trevor Bauer has never said that. Trevor Bauer has stuck to his deal and said, I have voicemails, I have text messages, I have the whole 9 yards that says this has all been consensual. And then once we do it, now they have a problem with it.
Well, without those texts and voicemails, we're probably thinking of a different story here. But
100%. There's no way with the proof that these women have, the marks and the things that they have, there's no way he ever sees the light of day again if he doesn't cover himself and have messages and voicemails and everything like that. 100%. If he doesn't have that kind of evidence, he would have been banned from the league a long time ago.
Right on.
Miles Austin got suspended yesterday, the wide receivers coach for the Jets, ex-Dallas Cowboys wide receiver. Another NFL gambling story. There's been no proof that Miles gambled on NFL games, but there is proof that he's gambled on other things: baseball, hockey, football, or college football. Maybe there was nothing in the NFL, but he's still going to be suspended for at least a year, just like Calvin Ridley, and honestly, he probably never coaches in the NFL again, because he's just Miles Austin, wide receiver coach, and we can make an example of you, and you'll be blacklisted forever. So his time in the NFL is probably over. He could probably just go run DraftKings or something like that.
And go
because
bet.
Because you basically you just can't do it. You cannot be involved in gambling and be associated with the NFL.
Beat writers and stuff like they can't even do that.
Nope.
So not a head coach, but a coach doing it is just
and you think you would learn from the Calvin Ridley deal that they're going to find out, they're going to catch you, and they're going to deal. It just absolutely positively a dumb move. I didn't even realize he was over there.
Me neither. When you said Miles Austin, I'm like, are we talking about the wide receiver that used to play football?
Yeah. So yeah, you just look at that and that's a absolute move. Believe that is it.
That is it. Yes.
That will wrap up the episode. Me and Brian will be back Tuesday, post-holiday, to review Week 16 and how our picks went. and talk about any breaking news that has happened in Major League Baseball or the hot stove there. We'll preview your upcoming major bowl games for next Saturday. Is going to be your college football playoff games. And we will preview anything that breaks up until then. You can find us on YouTube, the Outspoken Network, and anywhere you download your podcast. We live stream to YouTube and Twitch. Give us a comment on the show on YouTube live, or you can go download it where you find your podcasts. And we will talk to you on Tuesday. And have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
God bless. And remember,
keep it outspoken.